Hey guys, did the awesome here to give you yet another guide immediately after the Lindworm guide. This is actually right after the guide I said I'd do both Lindworm and Kraster. I said that yesterday, like I'd do both of them yesterday night, but I had other things I wanted to do. I am a human being and I am allowed to make different choices in my life. But yeah, this is Kraster. He is going to be the quest monster, which means everyone can get him for basically free. Well, you spend a little bit of gems, but at most you probably have to spend like 150, which isn't bad. I mean, you get like gems from nodes and doing the dungeons, so that's fine. I would say players that are just now starting to play may or not get them right away, depending on whether or not they buy gems. But yeah, this is Kraster. Yeah, everyone can get him. He's available for like the tokens you can get for a week. They made a really reduced time it took for the token quest for this one. It's 7 days instead of 14. Last one was 14 days, but this one's 7. So either this was a delayed release or just something else. But yeah, 7 this time. So be sure to watch your trailers. Be sure to do the dungeons. You're gonna want to collect the cells for this man because Kraster is really, really good. Basically, he is Soul Hugger on steroids. What do I mean by that? We'll get to the traits because that's why I'm talking about that. Life is 77,210. Very tanky for a cosmic monster. Quite a bit. Very stylishly tanky. Spicy. It's really, really nice. Given the fact this thing is a tank, you can already assume that, yes, it's going to be slower than other monsters in the game. That's actually really fine, though. It doesn't care too much, because odds are you're running Megaton, unless they're running Lindworm, or like, just something to stop the thing right away. You really kind of don't care. Like, as long as it doesn't get stopped, Kraster is good. Kraster's like, okay, as long as I'm not denied, I will just kill anything I see. I will see it, I'll kill it, I'll eat it, I'll have a great day. That's the saying of Kraster, everybody. If I kill it one day, I kill it all day. But Kraster is spicy because you know what? His power is also really, really high. It's almost 8,000. That is nuts. This thing has 7,920 power. That is insane. Holy tamale, that's a high power. So Okoing potential for this monster is obviously it's not that hard to Oko with Kraster. Give this thing like a double damage boost and you'll see numbers. It's really nice. It's really good. But I will say you have the option not to actually run damage. That's what Dib, did you just say, I don't have to run damage on my Kraster? Are you crazy? No, because you're going to see it's even crazier because he has percent-based damage. And he also heals by that percent-based damage, which is crazier. And he has Goran playstyle. We're going to get to that soon. But this man has stolen, that's right, has stolen, is it Goran's? Was it Goran? Anyway, there's an Earth Dragon monster, and he got the recovery mechanic for it. It's so good. It was so astronomically good. Fans know what I think is it Goran? I don't remember. I think it is Goran, but it's an Earth Dragon. I named him Grub Grub, fan favorite monster for years. Everyone loves Grub Grub. But he has a mechanic. This guy has the mechanic that basically what Grub Grub does. It's really good, really, really good. But yeah, you don't have to run damage if you don't want to. But it's however it goes. I won't say you're crazy for running a damage. I won't say you're crazy for running full speed. He has the option to it because he does a lot of damage when he's ranked up all the way. I will say if you get this thing to 140 and or 150, you just see numbers. You'll see that he performs really well, and he doesn't have to worry about much. And this means he actually can take advantage of his life regen skill if you're not going up against an Ordama or a double remove positive effect monster like Blaz. He does get a chance to take advantage of that life regen. So it's like the beginning damage doesn't matter about anything. It's just great. It's great. So speed, it's 5,775. Even though this is a really low base stat, I imagine a lot of people will run speed on him. So it doesn't matter too much. Some might even run double, 2 speeds in a life, or like they could run alternate runes. I'm not saying you have to go double damage because again, a lot of his stuff is percent based. So Walking Plant, it deals nature damage to one enemy and makes someone bleed. This is a spammable skill. I completely started to, or I didn't even talk about the traits. Completely skips the traits. Hold up, go back. So trait, at rank 0, you get hardened. 20% less chance to get hit by anything. So that's pretty great, given the fact that the new monster for Deny is going to be baby. Like, he's going to turn everyone into a little bit of babies. That's pretty important. So it's a good check to that. It's the only saving grace beyond control immunity buffs or traits. So right now, having percent chances to not get hit with anything's looking pretty great, because everyone's going to start doing baby. No one's really in the game is immune to baby besides just things that are immune to control and or like artifact. So is what it is. Rank 1. This is why I think he's like Soul Hugger on steroids, because he gets block resurrection with these stats. Like Cosmic Mythics have so good stats, and you have block resurrection, which means you outright counter Miseris comps and or Lordan comps. These comps are the most common comps in the game. You will see in the PvP arena and in Team War. So this insanely kills their viability. I will say, if you do not have a trait disabler and this thing's on the enemy team, you will not see this gone. This thing will not die, and this thing will kill everything on your team. If you do not get this handled, you just don't get the revive. It just completely shuts down revive counts. It's such a huge check to them, and it's so annoying because they can't get rid of this thing because he has lifesteal properties. He has percent-based damage. A lot of people like to run Lordan and Miseris with a life rune or make them tanky with the mutant life, and this thing says, no, you know what? I'm just going to be here annoying and just kind of killing everything with percent-based damage. And my natural damage is high too, so good luck with that. Really, really great passive. It's different with Kodama. I found that with Kodama, it's not as useful because I find my Kodama dying. I find my Kodama dying, so it's kind of hard to vouch for it. But like it just seems better on a thing. At first, I thought it would be better on a denier, but I found Kodama dying. Like if they're not running if they're running a spammable skill, it could be the fact my Kodama is only rank 1. But to be fair, when you know what, you just lose it. And that's sad. That's really sad. But this is gonna look pretty great on it because this thing doesn't die instantly. So because you normally run a life rune on it. Self skill, rank 3, it gets self life regen. This is actually really busted. If you run Kothor, you know how good like life regen at the beginning of the game is. If you ran Mr. Beast, you know how good life regen at the beginning of the game is. You just don't take much damage. Like if you're a tank and you get life regen at the beginning of the game, boom, you get life back, and that could matter. Like, it really does actually matter. It's actually huge botheration. It's just so good. So really great passive at rank 3. Once you get this thing to rank 3, it's just a really great tank. Rainbow rune this thing, like do whatever you want with it. Its rune sets are very. You can do really anything in terms of rune sets. I'm not saying its kits like follows those kind of trends, but really you got a lot of options for runes. It's really great. Relics, you get a sword and a mask. Masks are really good because you can do like stamina regen. Depending on the situation, you might actually want to do that because a lot of people like Ardiana and just like any other stamina drainer monsters. Some like regen masks, especially the new ore mask we got, seems really nice right now given the meta. Swords, I always hate swords. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Cane sword's the only one I find appealing besides like Ice Breaking Great Sword. I hate the damage relics. The numbers are so low, especially nowadays. They're only really good for like the damage is really just for OCO damage, and that's situational at best, I'd say, because it's not going to work. It doesn't become too helpful except just for securing chaos. That's all swords are, because their damage aren't anything to like say, oh, I did a lot of damage to me. Swords are running usually at like 12k. They're like different compared to like healing relics. I feel like that's so unfair for them. Because like if you look at the numbers for recovery and damage, why would you choose recovery like damage over recovery? That's so nuts. But for damage healers, they're all right with it. It usually, I will say, I'm not saying I haven't been OCO'd or like I haven't been like checked by these relics. I've lost a few times because of the sword relics, or I lost a key monster. But like more often than not, though, they don't do anything. If it's not like if it's a comp that's durable, you won't see too much of influence. It's more so busted when you do get the Oko damage. That's when it's become clutch. It's just a clutch item. But yeah, the book she gets it's in the sea book. Yo, my boys, this thing could be in the water wars. That's crazy. I don't know if that's too useful for Black Rush, but it's useful with villains. I think there's a few resurrecting villains, so that's useful. And then it's in Adventurers. There might be a res or two in there. Books are interesting. Villains is the only thing to worry about. It means Die Angel's gonna again has another monster to check. It just keep making villains, keep making things for Die Angel to kill. Turn 1, that's nice. But Walking Plant, 35 damage, bleed, optional to run. Spammable skills are always nice. It seems to be the only spammable skill, so that's a good reason to run it. Mad Cut, low damage to everyone, applies bleed and a life regen to itself. Dual skill, that's not only does this deal damage, but it also gives you a benefit of life regen. Some skills don't give you this kind of luxury, so I'd say this is a unique skill. I'd say run it. It's such a unique like buff because you're getting damage, DOT, and life regen all in one. That's crazy. Because sometimes you feel in that situation, oh, I want to do a life regen skill. Oh, no, but I want to do DOT. Hey, this thing does all three. This does damage, it does DOT, and does life for itself. That's really nice. It's not too important at the beginning of the game, and it's obviously a late game tool, because once you lose your life regen, this is probably how you get it back. So I'd say around this. I'd say it's a really neat skill. Savage Shout, it applies a damage boost and double healing. It's on a 1-turn cooldown. I'd say use Fleeing Roar, which does double damage and doubles its maximum life. You are kidding me. Yo, I'm getting double damage and double life, ensuring the fact you don't kill me and I kill you next. That's so crazy. This self buff is so strong. You're on Fleeing Roar, especially if you're running extra turn monsters. No reason not to run this. Not only does this guarantee you don't die, which is a huge problem with damage dealers nowadays. You're either alive or you are instantly dead, and you instantly lose the game. Because damage dealers, again, with stats, like nowadays with base stats, you really do need the damage to win. Or like if it's against like a cleansing comp, like your DOTs aren't going to do anything, you do just outright lose. Like that's the thing with like Bombeta. Bombeta at like max rank, if you're not ult-calling it, and it gets a chance to do its healing skills, you just won't kill it, man. You're not gonna plow through it. It's so nuts. I will say the skill is significantly less useful against mirror matches because, again, keep in mind he has percent-based skills, so it doesn't matter too much how much life you have with this particular monster. But if you're not running the mirror match, it's great. You don't get to die. You don't die, and you get double damage, and you do more. Very nice, very sweet. Cutting Roots. This is a 30% damage to all enemies. Heals by 30% per each person damaged. This is crazy. Because even if you're dealing with like a mega taunt monster, right? You get, for each person you hit, you get 30%. This is where the Goran inheritance kicks on. This is the skill that made Goran good, because for each person you hit, again, you get 30%. That is a 90% heal. You get a 90% heal. If every single person's alive, you get 90% of your life back. You gotta understand, that's crazy. Oh, wait, so you do 30% per hit. If they have Megaton, that's 90% in total damage, and for each hit, you get 30% back. So 90%. Even if the enemy damage dealer goes before you, if you are not dead and you get the skill off, you get all your life back. Plus, I mean, because you get your life regen too, you have to count that. That's full life. Yo, that's 100% full life recovery. You are 100% okay. If they can't repeat the devastation they just did to you, you're 100% okay. That's crazy. Really, really spicy. I like this skill. I'd say run this because it's Goran's skill. I loved Goran, and this is one of the reasons why I loved Goran. It's just like the recovery is so good, and it's on a damage dealer. So, like Goran wasn't much of a damage dealer back in the day. Like he was like a very good utility support for like, because he had like mountain and you could cleanse things, so you didn't have to worry about freeze. You could just like, it's like a free turn for your damage dealer. Not a top tier monster in the eyes of the community, but it was like it was just annoying to deal with. It was just clutch back then. It was like an anti-meta monster, like you could use on defense. But it was really nice. I'd say run the skill. I love this skill. 100% run it because it's like Goron heal, and Goron heal's so good. Half-Life Slash removes 50% of total life, and it heals itself by 50%. Another healing skill. Run both of these skills. Yo, Half-Life and Cutting Root. Oofda. Oofda. Recovery. Yo, and you do damage at the same time. What? It's crazy. Leech Siege. Nature damage to everyone. Gains a 50% damage dealt to as life, so it's a life steal. That's pretty crazy. The Leech Seeds, run Leech Seeds, yeah. Another healing skill, 50% of the damage out of his life. This is a little bit of a nerf version, but if you're running Fleeting Roar, this becomes double, Savage Shout, this becomes 100% heal. And you will probably do enough damage to get your life back. It's just like, everything this does is just gets this life back. It just constantly regens life. If you're not running like something like Solar Flare, or just something with super effective damage, you're not going to kill this thing. Like, if you don't have cooldowns activate, the odds of you killing this thing are really low. It gets all of its life. It's just good. You get all your recovery. It's really nice too, because I don't recall us having like a good nature myth. I guess Nori. Okay, take that back. Nori's Nightmare. I was about to say we don't have like a really like outstanding damage dealer, but then we got Nori. Never mind. But she didn't do like nature damage, right? Like she's more so just like physical damage. She's not known for nature damage. She's more known for her physical. So I think this is the first actual legit nature damage dealer, like 100% off the bat. He does all he does is nature damage, and it's just glorious. And that's actually one of his problems too. I think that might be his biggest problem too, because I've just been saying oodles and oodles of good things about this monster. But he does only do nature damage outside of his percent damage. This actually matters immensely, because that means he can't just outright check Nor. That's a big deal. Nor is a huge threat you want to check in this game. A 150 Nor can really just OHKO anything, given the proper situation. She punishes you for being squishy. She really does. So I think that's the only con with Kraster, is it doesn't have anything to cover Nor. That's a big deal. I'm immensely bothered by that. But we might also get more nature tanks in the future too. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll do any better than Kraster. This is looking really good from what I'm seeing right now. Kraster is just going to be annoying. Like, the mirror matchup is annoying. He just gets all of his life back. If you don't have cooldowns activate, what do you really do? Like, it's just an opposing monster that doesn't die. And he blocks your resurrection too. So if you don't have trait disabled up, he'll just block your stuff. That's annoying. That's immensely annoying. But yeah. The ultimate removes 100% life from one enemy, applies bleed, heals itself by 100%, and applies life regen. So basically restarts your life. So you get a full life reset. You kill someone for free, and then you make them bleed. I don't know why the bleed's there, but it could be for shielding maybe. I don't know, but because you're killing them. I think this doesn't count. I think this doesn't bypass like shielding. So as long as you break the shield first, you instantly kill something. But yeah, that's it for this guide. Overall, really great monster. I think he and the new monster Lindworm will shake the meta. I think these monsters are really annoying at 150. Do I think they have any counterplay? I do, actually. Control immunity being one of the hugest things. And like reverse healing too. I don't know if we really have a reverse healing mythic besides reverse healing isn't really. Yeah, I say Morgs. I'd say honestly their tech right now really does look like Morgs in terms of Kraster specifically. We don't have a reverse healing monster besides Morgs. Yeah, I don't remember any other monster besides Tree Man's, the past monsters negate healing. We don't have any reverse healing beyond Morgs, and Morgs isn't even considered useful by any means now, especially now. I'd say Morgs just lost any real viable play, but he's the only one with reverse healing right now. He's really just the only check 2 grass there at this point, I think. I guess Solar Flare works too. Yeah, I'd say run slower flare against this thing, but everything in war is not always the best thing, so it's gonna be hard to check him. I think this is a huge eyesore in Team War, because whatever you do, he just gets his life back. If you don't have cooldowns activate, if he kills you Megaton monster, there's really nothing you can really do. Yeah, I'd say this is an absolute good defense monster in Team War. You got your life regen, you block res. You're just huge. You're huge. You don't die. Rainbow Rune, I'd say. Uh, or like two speeds and a life rune. And that's really about it. Yeah, you're just tanky. I will say this thing does require investment, but if you do invest in this monster, you should see results. So like if this is a top ranking monster, you should be winning fights like left and right. It's just tanky. It's a huge eyesore. You can't punish it much. It gets all of its life back seamlessly. It's just good. Yeah, it's just it's a consistent monster. Like from what I'm seeing from this point, everything you do is consistent. Like you get your life back, you're doing damage. They can't res. I will say with this, I haven't mentioned it since the entirety of this vid. Black res does not block Uriel's essence. I think it should, but it doesn't, and that's kind of why black res isn't considered hardcore meta. Like it's not considered must have a lot of the times, but it is a huge deal to those revive monsters. But beyond that, it doesn't stop Uriel's essence, and the odds are we're going to fight more comps nowadays with Uriel's essence, so it doesn't. I will say that'll kill the viability of this passive. But yeah, that's about it. Overall, I think it's great when it's ranked up. I will say when you don't have it done, it's not something you need. If you know you'll never get this done, I will say don't feel bad about it, because again, it is a monster you need to invest in, and odds are first you will be investing in your Lindworm. So yeah, that's just kind of how I feel. If you do the event, if you're asking me, should I do the progressive event? I think it's worth it. I think this monster is really good. And it's kind of the same thing with Blackfeller. If you are into the progressive events, do them. I don't think you need to invest every single dime into it, though. I would say just spend like, just don't go over $50. But and then just spend it on right times. But I'd say overall, just get the monster. In all honesty, I think it's just better to just get the copy nowadays. I think it's overpriced for what you spend for the Progression Islands. But yeah, just get the copy of the monster, do the event, spend it at like 150, and then just work on it from there. Do your dungeons, do your daily dungeons, and all that stuff, and you'll be fine. You shouldn't have to spend too much. Get this to rank 4 at the very least, I'd say. 5 was like the best, but like if you can get the 4, all right, because it doesn't need to be. It's not like unless you run it like damage wise, you'd love the 150 rank, but if it's not, all right. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope this guide was helpful. Partners, it goes with anything. Megaton's the most appreciative. You just don't get checked right away. If you are running speed, you will go before enemy monsters, and you can just do different things. But yeah, that's it for this guide. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was great. I'm Did the Awesome. I'll catch you guys later.